difficult, these positions. Yeah, well, time was the issue. Okay, so I'll quickly have a look at this game. So T-nan 1, 2, 3 as white was up against retarded platypus. So played a very theoretical opening. So this H3, I mean, in chess that would be fine. In Crazyhouse, that's a little bit dangerous. It does stop bishop to g4, but this pawn is like a hook that black can use to begin an attack, even in chess actually. The move h3 it's inviting a sack at some point in the future, opening up g2, and then a pawn could drop on g2 or other pieces. So it's not such a good move. And Hydroseat suggesting taking the pawn and dropping a pawn on g3. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. It's an interesting idea, and that's even the computer's recommended plan of action. And then you're moving f2 as well, and so a normal move would be to take. You take, rook takes, and look what's becoming of your. I mean, yeah. So this is the kind of thing that can happen if you're. Okay, but retarded platypus held off for a while. Just did this first. He's picking up a few pieces, and actually notice that if black ever gets a pawn, that pawn could land with a nasty fork. So that's why I'm a little bit worried. Yeah. So he takes the knight, takes the knight. So, well, okay. Oh, the computer doesn't like this because it's leaving the guard of that pawn, but retarded platypus didn't sort of take advantage of this. He's probably a sharper player now. But I told you this this pawn was the danger all along, so this had to be avoided. Yeah, and now the queen and the queen and king are being forked, and he's won a rook, and this is the classic Arabian mate. So okay, so in order to be good at this game, you first have to not make positional errors and sort of be aware of certain traps. Like, so the pawn at h3, that's a dangerous move. I mean, it's not losing. You can see it's still equal, but it's like the beginning of something going wrong. And here you have to be you moved your knight, which that's a perfectly decent move to move the knight, but you realize by moving this knight you're taking away the guard on e2. So you have to be always very careful in case you lose a pawn. So yeah, that's why the computer would recommend actually taking off this knight. I mean, that's not necessarily always the plan, but it's just because, yeah, so here black could do, hang on, so knight here check, king here, and knight takes f3. Okay, so this is the problem. It's taking away the protection of the queen. Okay, so you could go something like queen takes knight, another knight at d4, and you move the queen back again, and then you're taking this pawn. So the black pieces are all over this white king. You could try and take the bishop maybe, but then yeah, the pawn is dropping on that pawn you just took on h3 is dropping on e2. No. So this is a game from a year ago. So is there a Crazyhouse match? Yeah, there is, but it's not happening. Yeah. So Mugwort Crazyhouse. Hey, okay. Is there a CWC match today? I'm on iPhone. I was sick of school too. Yeah. So there was an elimination bracket match which I stayed up till 3 a.m. to watch, and it's not happening because National Master Melee who's the American women's national master, I believe. No, women's national master, Megan Lee. Obviously, he's got better things to do than Crazyhouse, which is rather unfortunate. Nicholas Seiss is on the stream. As a student becomes a teacher. Well, I've always been a teacher, so. And Hydro Suit is advertising his games against Krusky. I don't play ZH that often, so yeah, but it's because I am. It's easier for me to assess these games because obviously I'm not a maestro at the game. So it's harder for me to analyze Retarded Platypus, the mistakes he seems to be making consistently. So I can tell you something, the mistakes you're making. Muggle Crazy House, walking outdoors, try not to run into anything or anyone. I can't see or hear much right now, he says. Okay, well, take care. Don't want to cause any accidents, so just. But I know what you mean. So basically, nothing's happening. But so we're just going through this game. Okay, so firstly, that if you want to try and be careful of those weaknesses, then be very careful of be careful of the weaknesses, and you have to keep those weaknesses defended, and then be very aware of these cunning night forks and things. I mean, it's not clear what the best move here is. It's really difficult. Yeah, maybe just taking off the knight takes would be something. At least that sort of see, the thing with that is it clears away. See, at least now all black's pieces are on his side of the board. So it's just that's what maybe. Yeah, this I would go through those games Hydro Suit as well, but let's be realistic. This stream is gonna get deleted eventually. I mean, not eventually. It's been a waiting for melee stream, so it's not going to get deleted, but it will be deleted by Twitch eventually, and it's not going to survive. So Nicholas Theiss, another thing that is that tempi are way more important in Crazyhouse and chess. You played knight c3 to d5 and bishop takes d5, which is basically 4 tempi to trade for his knight takes d5. So let's have a okay. So yeah, I could go back to that game, but I'll just So the point is, you need to try and think what moves are going to lead to mate in as few moves as possible. So it says you played knight c3 to d5 and bishop takes d5. Which is basically 4 tempi to trade for his knight takes d5. Why 4 tempi? Isn't it just 2? But okay. And then also knight takes f3, queen takes f3, you got tempoed again. I think I should look at that again. Okay, so let's go back. So I'm now looking at it from his point of view. Takes. Oh, yeah, I see, yeah. Because it was, you have to be careful, either takes, and then he comes up. So yeah, so suppose in this position, for example, another good example of that is if, so if this is just for the sake of example, if white plays like this, and you block, you always have to be aware white could always take and just replace the bishop. And if you block again, takes, and so you have to, if you're going to be just gradually pushed closer, you should be thinking, well, where do I actually, I don't want to, where do I actually want my queen to go? So sometimes you might do this once, and then your queen might come up here and have a look at this pawn, for example. Those sorts of ideas. Okay, so 12 Teen isn't playing, Karigalis is playing against Krusky. Ooh, okay. Okay, for Hydro Suit, we're going to go have a look at Moon and Nane's games against Hydro Suit. Let's just do that. Okay. But this is 1 plus 0, so there's quite a few games though. Okay, so Moon and Nane was black against Hydro Suit, against Krosky rather, and plays this. So okay, so you're asking some openings you can play. Yeah. Okay, so this is a very dynamic opening. And this one, okay, so black's constrained within the first 3 rows and it didn't turn out so well. Okay. Game 2. And we'll look at it again from Krosky's point of view. And this time Moon and Nane was white. So you might think this move is just wasting a tempi. But it's creating, and it is in a way, but it's also creating a weakness which can later be exploited by the bishop. So it's quite an interesting idea. So black, notice how black doesn't bother moving this bishop on c8, because that bishop on c8 is, yeah, so it's instructive to see. So we'll try and see why is Moon dying. So I'd say he's fine, but maybe he's castled a little bit into danger. But it's difficult to see what he should have done instead. But yeah, he's castled a little bit into danger. And this... Okay, ooh. We have, sorry, but I just got off work way later than I thought I would today. So melee is online, okay. But cross online is not. Ah. So she says, I'll forfeit the match. That's rather unfortunate. Okay. So yeah, that match is not happening. Oops. Now I've lost the game. Where were we? Yeah, we were. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we have this game between Moon and Krosky. Okay, but it's instructive. Why is Krosky winning this? So that looks like a nice move from Moon. Okay, so that's also a nice little move. Distracting the queen. Takes, and here Moon is doing quite nicely. You can see, just takes the bishop. The attackers have been eliminated, and he goes on an attack himself. So why this thing? Can he go on an attack himself? He must be. Well, black has no pieces in hand, so one could step back and sort out his own position. But he figures, look, my mate is happening in fewer moves than Krosky's mate in this position. So he goes straight in on the attack. So he's sort of sacking a pawn, but just trying to get initiative. And this seems a very reasonable thing to do. But Krosky defends the weakness. So this is a very good move, forking the queen and g7. The plan is just to attack, just to sack the bishop on g7 and exactly he does the correct thing. This is very nice from Moon check. Bishop here. King takes knight. Okay, that knight is just... So where's this king going to go? And why attack when you can just keep winning all of black's pieces, Nicholas Weiss says. So here the computer's calling mate in 18. So king g6, bishop f5, king goes back. Okay, sorry, I just departed from the game. This is all good. And this suddenly, boom. Okay. Bishop apparently was stronger than... bishop provides backwards coverage as well as eyeing h7. So bishop f5 is mate in 18. King g7. But with this move, f3, suddenly the tables turn because, yeah, it opens up a knight fork here. Does Krosky see the knight fork? Ooh, and he's got and Moon's got a knight fork as well on Krosky's king. But obviously there must be, yeah, they're both under 20 seconds here. But Krosky doesn't see it. He's just throwing random checks here. So this is just low quality. Okay, he might get a mate, but it's just under 15 seconds both players. So basically, Hydrosuit was completely winning that game, but less than 10 seconds. Yeah. So basically, this is nice. I mean, basically, this is very nice. Bishop here was good. Knight takes h7 is also good. Bishop, knight takes pawn. Bishop here, king here. So this is kind of the key point in the game, and 23 seconds to finish it off. Trying to find the mate, and yeah, I mean this is... But the thing is the king is running back, which is kind of annoying. So let's just have a look what the mate was. Bishop here, king here, pawn drop here. So if the king goes back, you're picking up another pawn and... not sure. Yeah, you're picking up a pawn from here. So I imagine king wants to go to g8. But if the king goes to g8, you have bishop takes pawn check, king there and pawn there, checkmate. So yeah, this is going to be awkward. And if king goes to h6, we have knight takes f7 and then pawn at g5 mate. So actually, and if king takes this pawn, you have knight e6 check, potentially picking up the queen, but you're actually doing better than that. This is just checkmate. That's quite a pretty mate. So so in this position, yeah, pawn at f6 is quite a pretty move, and the only move that isn't getting mated in 2 is this king h8. But you just need to pick up a pawn to drop here, and that will do the trick. So the rook moves out the way somehow. Pawn at g7, king moves out the way, knight moves back. We just want to drop a pawn here, and it's going to be checkmate. Okay, so we just drop a pawn. No, we don't have a pawn, but yeah. Okay, so it's just going to be, you drop the pawn, knight takes pawn. Okay, we're going to take the rook for the corner. It's just desperate defense trying to stop it, but the mate is coming. So okay, so that was actually a good game from Hydrosuit, even though he lost it. So he's going to follow it up with this game as black, and Krosky playing a rather playing kind of f4. Well, okay, and quite effectively. I mean, taking that knight, I wouldn't take that knight because you're opening up the rook file and you're advancing Krosky's pawn into your position. So, I mean, okay, it's risky. And with this move, you're giving white pawns to... I mean, you're helping. Okay, white has a bishop on this diagonal, which is blocked by this pawn, and by playing this move, you are kind of inviting this bishop into the attack. So this is really not a good move. Probably, yeah, you wanted to somehow block this rook file and stop a pawn drop here, though. That's very understandable. So how to do that? Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the computer's recommending moves like here and here, here and here, and I'm not entirely like. What if you just did something like this? It's just not clear where this knight belongs. I mean, even like h4, I wouldn't even know what to do against this. So obviously, this is not a good move, but it's just like I guess you just let him take and then take back, and he's got a weakness on h2. But okay, so actually, what the computer is observing in this position is actually it's okay if white takes this knight because black will have a pawn which will be useful to begin an attack on the black king. So moves like this are good. If you do something like this, then this knight is a good attacking piece. If you take the knight, then bishop takes pawn, and pawn takes pawn is coming. White doesn't even have a pawn to defend with. But anyway, the way Moon played instead is this, which is, to be honest, a little bit dangerous. Okay, but he takes back with the bishop, that's good. Pawn f7, hides away in the corner. So Krosky takes the rook, takes back. Yeah, so Krosky missed the bishop fork, which, hang on, does that work even? Because bishop fork, can't you just go rook takes rook, queen takes rook? So why is this so crushing for white? Because, knight to h3. So no, it's I've got the engine open with suggestions, so that's why I'm trying to work out why bishop here is so crushing, which I wouldn't have thought. And let's just have a look. Bishop there, rook takes rook, queen takes. I guess you're taking away the defense, so now white has the file and this diagonal, and yeah, but why can't you just defend? So, I mean, what's so dangerous? Okay, so white would go pawn f7. Okay, yeah, if you take it, there are going to be knight drops. If you hide away, we've got mates. Okay, yeah, this is why. Okay, so you have to take it. You just sack the queen and come in with checkmate. Okay, so this is why actually Krosky has actually got a crushing position here, but he instead takes, and now the queen is providing coverage. So he tries to dislocate the queen. He takes the bishop. So this is still good work from Krosky in this game, but nice hiding away. Queen takes pawn. Queen takes queen. Bishop takes queen. Pawn here. So kind of desperate defense from Moon, just trying to stop the. He's trying to stop knight drop here and queen drop here. So it's a good move. Because if the bishop's on f7, it's in the wrong place. So Krosky goes for f6. Yeah, I mean, you can see what the computer's suggesting, like knight drops on g6 and stuff, which I'm not entirely seeing, but I'm guessing if you do drop on g6, obviously you can't drop this way because of what I just said. And you can't go here because of the queen drop here. So you have to go here. And then, yeah, then again, I'm not seeing it, but apparently there are strong moves. Like queen h4, that's just picking up the rook, for example. That's just an example of like black's last defender gets taken. So it's not mate, but things are looking really bad. Okay, instead Krosky did this. Looks like a really nice move. Desperate defense from Moon. But this is interesting because he's opening up a file on the king. Check. Doubling the file on the king. And Krosky's a little bit scared, which is he's right to be, because if you leave that open, there could be a knight check, rook check, and smother. So he's going to work away, check, block, check, check. Whoa, this is very. Oh, he had a queen in hand, and that was a. Look at the power of those rooks. Even though he was all like curled up in the corner, those rooks, he managed to open that file. So the way Moon opened that file is quite impressive, given that there were two pawns in the way. And so normally you'd think, oh, you need to undermine that pawn's just been dropped. We need to undermine it, but he undermined the pawn behind, which is quite a cunning little idea. And so it's mate in 3 here, which was unavoidable because he created this little gap. So what could, at this point, taking was obviously a huge mistake. Yeah, so in this position, Krosky's still actually winning with queen takes rook, bishop takes queen. Its taking is a very big mistake because it takes away the protection of the king and it opens a hole on g2. Yeah, Tina says those mating patterns so stressful. Yeah, because you see like Krosky goes from actually a really comfortable position, and that was a flip. That was a flip from Moon. So yeah, nice game after losing the previous one in the time scramble when he was doing nicely. So very nice. Okay, so game 4. Moon is white, and we see the same opening, which, yeah, so I don't know if I'd take that pawn, because it's just, okay, I mean, maybe it's okay to take the pawn, but it just feels like you're losing a piece. But then what else would you do in this position? Yeah, you could do queen c1, so that if he takes the pawn, you're taking back and you're still defending. I'm not sure if it's good, but it's just an idea. Actually, so the engine is actually going queen c1 as best move. It wasn't when I suggested it, so that's funny. So that was me. So this feels like it's losing a piece. So yeah, I'm not really sure about that. But this one, okay. So what actually happened to what? So what happened to Black's advantage? Black was doing fine, but apparently, yeah, this move is not so good. Why? Because it's a very natural move to try and stop, pawn drops or knight drops. Or I guess it's a waste of Black's pawn. I mean, you can see from the computer, Black's itching to put the pawn on b2 or h3, and it was wasted a little bit. So yeah, Black's being too passive in this game. That's Krosky's mistake. And oh, those knights look tasty. So hang on. So something has gone wrong. G takes f6. Right. So the thing is, yes, he's got a nice attack going, but actually nothing in hand. So computer still likes Black, even though White's got a great attack going, and I quite like White. But it requires really accurate defense. So yeah, like taking is apparently a good idea. Bolting with the king is a good idea. Knight d7 is a good idea, just defending that bishop. And letting him take and then having the rook on the king. Okay, so this is a mistake because it's just hanging the rook. And the king has to bolt anyway. That's picking up a nice piece. Just going to dump it in. So you see how the Moon's just going with the initiative here. Takes. Just keep on picking up material. The purpose is just to keep up the initiative. And yeah, and Black flagged, I imagine. Yeah. So nice, just keeping up the initiative. Okay, game 5. So notice this pattern is quite annoying. This is for Tina. I was saying of how it's very natural. You want to defend like this, but takes, and he drops again. And so you have to have a kind of eye out. Well, do I want to come here, or do I want to drop again and do and take like so? So let's see what Krosky did. Well, Krosky says no. I'll just play f3. And I'm claiming I've improved my queen position by doing that little swap. So you have to do these small positional things. Yeah, so he has in fact gained slightly because Black now has to drop back. The computer has other ideas. It thinks bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, and then you don't even take the bishop. So what's the idea? I don't see this at all. You attack the queen again. So I'm really, this is like, I don't understand the computer. Like, if you take the queen, why can't I take your queen? Because then I take this queen. Okay, I guess the mating, yeah, because then white's got two knights, a bishop, queen, so then there's a mating threat on the black king, and you have to know how to mate with two knights, two bishops, and a queen. So yeah, so there's positional things you need to know, but you also need to know these mating patterns. So yeah, so if black were to play, say rook takes bishop, for example, so this is for Tinan, then we could go knight here, check, and if you just slide across, we have the standard mate. So you have to take this one, and now what you do? Oh, this is not working. That's crazy. So yeah, okay. Why is that not working? Oh, so this bishop is covering this square. So you actually need to begin with this knight. Okay, I hadn't. This is, see, I'm learning too. Because, okay, so why? Oh, because, let me see. Okay, the rook is eyeing this file. Okay, so the normal idea is you go knight h6, takes, and then knight f6. Okay, and then the king will go into the corner. You drop a pawn here, takes, and the knight will come out with a check on g7. But this doesn't work because the bishop is actually covering that square. But actually, there are two other ways which work instead, which are knight. Well, in this position, because there's this rook file, it's just very simple. You can just go like this, check, and you could go knight takes pawn, etc., etc. But it's something even simpler, which is queen here first, and then the smother. So there's that idea. But okay, this is good. So I'm learning too. Knight f6. Okay, so why can't he just do this? It's very simple because this is checkmate. But if he takes, there's also a mate. And I want to try like knight h6. Go here. Bishop here. King takes. Knight here. Check. I see. And we're just going to dump the queen. If you step back, you're going to get mated. If you take the knight, it's going to be queen, and queen takes mate. Okay, so you have to step forward, and then there's just going to be mate anyway. So rook takes h6, king. Okay, so this is why, actually, in this position, although Krosky played f3, bishop takes knight is actually even more powerful because black doesn't have an immediate mating threat when he takes the queen. These squares are both covered by the rooks, so his position is actually very nice. But anyway, he goes for this. So this is good from Krosky. Takes. Ooh, so takes with the queen. That's interesting. Yeah, not necessarily good. I mean, basically, notice this rook file is really dangerous, and I'd go back to the point where black let white open up that file, and maybe, yeah, this move here. I'm not sure. I mean, in this sort of position, I would wait for white to castle before taking this bishop. That would be my recommendation, because it's just as that rook is otherwise quite menacing, and you see this coming in. Check, check. Yeah, and he even sacks the queen, but yeah, he's just going for loads of checks at this point. Moon is defending valiantly. So it isn't even mate, but because Moon is actually defending really well. But it's just a barrage. Didn't like the pressure of the pin. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, game 6. So this is a lot of games. So it's good, and I need to sleep. So this is just I'm going to go through this really quickly. Okay, so this is fine. Well, I say it's fine, but white's apparently lost opening advantage. But I don't know my opening theory, so I can't say. I mean, this feels okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we saw this in the other game. This is not a good move. It creates a weakness, so avoid playing unless there's a um, unless you know there's a good reason to do so. Yeah, this is dangerous. But as you said, you're annoyed about this pin. Okay, so how to get it out of this pin? Yeah, so bishop at f5, for example. But he could just takes, and lay the bishop on again. So bishop here. So how has this made progress? So only because you can then take here, takes, and then bishop here. So these are sort of crazy ideas, but if you can see how the computer really likes it, it's like plus 4.7. So yeah, not obvious necessarily, but okay, h3 not a good idea. Kind of got to bear the pin. Other moves: bishop f5, bishop g6, bishop takes pawn, bishop d3. Yeah, h3 is the fourth best move, so it's not stupid, but it is creating a potential weakness. Okay. Okay, so knight is coming in on taking g2. Nope, he takes h3 instead. Okay, I mean I was expecting taking g2, but okay. Okay, but this is going to end badly. Okay, game. Well, only 2 more games to go, so let's just and then I'm going to sleep. But it's been fun. So thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Tina. Takes, knight here, knight takes. Yeah, okay, so this weakness of this dark square weakness is too much, Moon. So why? But that's part of this opening. So in order to play this opening, yeah, you have to be this d4 move. You can't let white. Yeah, you can't let white get away with this. So you have to somehow. I don't know the opening theory here, but it just feels like this. White is kind of coming in on these dark squares. So you have to know your opening theory pretty nicely to play this. And I can't see anything wrong with what you've done. Okay, obviously you've just walked your knight into a fork, so that's a problem. But maybe the bishop doesn't belong on d6. Maybe that's what it is. But this is a tough opening to play. Maybe also your dark squared bishop doesn't belong on b7. So basically, if you play this opening, you need to figure out where those bishops go. Because I've just got I mean, I don't know the opening, but I've got a feeling your bishops are not being placed in the right place. Now, yeah, you need, yeah, okay. So that ended very quickly. But game 8, you had the last word as white. Yeah. So this, I had a suspicion this wasn't a good idea. Kroski is spending 2 moves to take off this bishop, which is, I mean, in chess that would be fine, but in Crazyhouse, it feels like that's wasting a lot of time. I mean, Stockfish is recommending just the sacking of the bishop on f7 and leaving this knight looking silly on the edge of the board, which is reasonable. But this also looks fair enough. But yeah, Stockfish doesn't like this as much. It really does like the sack. Either the sack or this. But this, you could just play this. So I'm not sure. It still wants to sack. So I think the reason why Stockfish doesn't like this knight is because it wants to sack. But anyway, this is looking. I mean, I'd say this is looking okay for white, but the computer doesn't think so. And yeah, knight takes pawn. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't like knight takes pawn. It thought knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, and yeah, dropping a bishop. He's got knight and bishop in hand. See, white's pawns are facing the wrong way for an attack. Usually, yeah, which is fine, but So if white's going to attack, he's going to have to put his pawns now facing this way, but black's got quite good bishops covering everything. It's going to have more bishops. So yeah, black's fairly safe in this position. So knight takes pawn looks like a really decent move that Krosky played. So why is it bad? Because knight takes bishop, queen takes knight, knight at d5. So this is, I mean, this feels like an advanced mistake. And this is exactly what Moon did. He took the bishop, so he's now got a bishop in hand, but he replaced the knight at this really beautiful square. And in this position, he's going to try and get another knight. Now, why does he want another knight? Of course, because he wants to fork the king and the queen. But he doesn't. Okay, so Krosky sees that, so he defends the fork, and it's going to undermine that square because if the pawn takes the bishop, you can just drop the knight there anyway. Okay, that doesn't work. Yeah, this bishop here just doesn't work because it's not on the right square, and this is crazy. But Stockfish is calling mate in 12 here. Knight here check. Takes. This square is weak. And actually h6 is also weak. But no, yeah, h6 is weaker still. Forces back. You win a bishop, and bishop here is a mate threat. And basically it can't be stopped. So let's try and stop it. Yeah, it just can't be stopped. So wow. So yeah, so bishop here is a big mistake because it doesn't cover these two squares. So what should black be doing here? Maybe just defending this, but that doesn't look good because you could just then take this, and if you took back, the knight here is picking up the queen. So you'd have to take back with the king, but then if you're taking back with the king, there's all kinds of horrible things happening. It's suggesting, why can't you just take that bishop? Because knight here checked, and now the king is stuck outside, and this is mate. Ouch. So that's quite a beautiful sack. This little sack here. It looks like it's possible. It's actually mate in 3. That's a pretty mate. That is a really pretty mate. So you missed. No, you saw this knight fork. That's what you're going for. But no, you take the bishop, which is good. But yeah, knight at e7 was the kill move in this position. But you take the bishop, which is yeah, it's a very nice move because that bishop, and then you go for the kill. Yeah, exactly. And the queen comes in. Ooh, okay. So basically, yeah. So yeah, I could see that in this position also you have a direct kill. So I'll just play the computer moves. Pawn king takes h4, drop, pawn takes, bishop here. He can. Okay, hang on. Takes. Okay, if he drops, then you are going pawn takes knight checkmate. Okay, so there was a direct kill, but actually you notice, well, I'm completely safe, so let's just exchange off some queens. Black only has like one other knight, so exchange off queens, and the mate is just too hard. My gosh, I was thinking you're completely safe, and like the mate's here, and they're just too hard to stop. But Moon, you were lucky because there is a mate. And he plays the correct first move, but not the wrong second move. So this is key. This move looks good. What's wrong with it? Because it's takes, and knight takes. Doesn't work. He needs to play queen at h4 first, and then a pawn here. So we block, then we play a bishop here. If you takes, if takes, you're taking. And if you take again, you're taking. At some point you're dropping back, but you've got enough to mate. The knight, pawn at h2, king here, knight here, rook takes, knight takes rook, is checkmate. Yeah, so you have enough to mate. So his best hope is to maybe drop back immediately. If he drops straight back to here, you can actually go queen takes pawn. Pawn takes queen. Bishop here. You can drop with the pawn if he likes. Bishop takes pawn. King takes bishop. And this is the key. You want a knight coming into this square, so you can drop a pawn here, and then pawns will mate. You've got 2 pawns, just enough to mate. Pawn here, king here, pawn here. So that was risky. And what if you go here? Then you've got bishop takes pawn. If I take, takes here, knight here, check. Even if you take the knight, I'm taking again here. And can you see the mate? It's not an obvious one. Yeah, I didn't see it. It's knight f3 checkmate. But even if you didn't see it, you could go bishop at g1, just kill that rook, and you got him like this. Okay, so that was something that obviously it was a nice idea, like exchange off queens, I'm perfectly safe, but actually you should have gone for the kill directly. So a bit risky exchanging off queens because he could have done this, and he got the right first move, but then the wrong second move. You had to do queen at h4, and then you actually. But in this position, you're completely safe, and he couldn't do anything, and he resigns because he just can't defend the mate, or he actually runs out of time. Okay, but it's been fun watching, going through those games. So there was, although they're bullet, you can see there was lots of interesting tactics and ideas. So yeah, see you Tina, and see you Hydrosuit. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Bye guys. And a pity we didn't get to watch the CWC match, but that's fine. We did something productive.